Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Out of Rap TV. It is the 28th of October. We've nearly made it through the month, and we're about to head to Crazy Town, the silly season for our industry. I hope you are all well. Firstly, thanks to my partners. Let's start with Alvaria. I'm doing some great stuff with them. We did a webinar last week, also with Call Miner. Alvaria are the people who can help you proactively contact your customers. We have Quetzal, of course. Better Outsourcing. Gary Beatty was on the podcast the other day. Great guy. They're a whole great bunch of people in 3 centres now in the UK, proudly UK outsourcers. The Forum, the best learning organisation in our industry, and Sabio, my very first partner. Danny is here, the author of Constellation and all-round pun addict. He loves his puns. Darren Gracie from Aurora Aya. Sorry about that. All things ID and V. Had a great chat a few weeks ago. Great to see you. Remember, if your comments are not showing, I'm not ignoring you. Please just refresh LinkedIn. And today, for the first time, this is being streamed live on YouTube as well. So no idea how that's going to go. Charlie, good to see you, my friend. Charlie was on our frog session this morning. Marianne, the lovely Marianne Borodar. Marianne says, I can only join for 10 minutes, would love to be longer, but have a call. So I thought I would come on and say hello. Diane, good to see you. You're always very, very busy, as we can all see, which is great. Lewis Murphy from Route 101. Should have said Marianne from Atombit as well. Lewis Murphy, good morning, sir. Do check out Lewis's Wednesday Wisdom videos. They're very good, and keep doing them, my friend. You've been doing them a while now. We need more video content from ourselves on LinkedIn. Right, let's get on with the show. Okay, let's get to know each other a little better. Who would play you in the movie of your life? Who would play you in the movie of your life? I'll kick us off. I was thinking about this morning. I would probably go with Danny DeVito. He's bald and short, much like me. Amandip is here. Hello, Amandip. Good morning to you too. So I've kicked us off. Danny DeVito would be mine, I think. But who would play you in the movie of your life? Don't be shy. If you think it's a Brad Pitt, somebody like that, just go for it. I mean, it's your movie, right? You are everything in this movie. But who would play you in the movie of your life? Charlie, straight off there, The Rock. Danny, Gilbert Gottfried. I love it. I'm imagining these movies now. We've got both ends of the spectrum from Charlie and Danny. But who would play you in the movie? Darren says Chris Pratt. Oh, Chris Rainsforth of the Forum is it? Denzel Washington, who apparently has a perfectly symmetrical face. Is it here? I think I did read that somewhere. Or it's as close to perfectly symmetrical as you can get. So I can see the similarities, Chris, already. Not sure he has your style and panache, though. Would have to work very hard with him to get him up to your kind of standards. And you're just showmanship and stage presence. He's nearly there. He's nearly there. Give a young and upcoming actor a chance. But these are great suggestions. Marianne and Lewis, surely, and Amandip, surely you have something there that you can say, yeah, this actor would be good for me. Whilst you are thinking, quite a few of you said you wanted to win one of the hoodies. I'm going to do the draw next. Julia Roberts, says Marianne, only because I used to pretend to be her when I started on the phones many years ago. Oh, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. Who did you pretend to be? Okay, now then, let's get on, shall we, with the draw. If you remember, just to quickly show you, this was to win one of these hoodies. For those of you that joined the show last week and entered your name, we are going to do the draw. Emma Watson says Amandip. Good choice. So here we go. This is the draw. So which one of you who said you were down for a hoodie is going to win? Drum roll, please. The wheel is spinning. Who is going to win the hoodie? Oh, Danny, you were so close. Kerry Udale is the winner. She's not here today. So someone else might have to collect a prize for her. But well done, Kerry. I will be in touch. I just need to ask you what color and size you would like. But there are the new hoodies. Now then, Lee is here. My Yoda, the Yoda for me, my mentor, Lee Houghton of Get Knowledge says, Vern Troyer, the mini me actor. Well, me and you maybe could do a film, Vern and Danny DeVito, about our journey, our frogging. Just be careful. I said frogging. Okay. I was having a chat with Fola from TFL yesterday, and we ended up talking about complaints. So my question for you today is, are complaint teams and complaints themselves undervalued in most organizations? Now, I should qualify that a little bit. Obviously, if you work in a regulated industry, you might be under the auspices of FCA. Maybe you're in financial services. Complaints are very, very important. You have to report them. You have to show that you're doing something with them. But my question is more about, are we using them for process improvement, change? Are we using them to gain real insights from our customers? What has been your experience of complaints? So, my question to you is, are complaint teams and complaints themselves undervalued in most organizations? And you might, please feel free to tell me absolutely not. In my experience and where we are right now, we are all over them. I want to hear about it. What do we think? Are we making the most out of complaints? Chris, what do you see from all of the members that you have in the forum, and what are you telling them? What are you suggesting is best practice? Certainly from my time, I did spend some time working in the financial services industry, quite a few years. And we evolved from kind of reporting and resolving and reporting, to really looking at what they were telling us, where in our process generated the most complaints, and what could we do about it. So we would do all of the redress. We would contact the customers within all the SLAs. Some of them were too long, in my opinion, but we tried to do them as efficiently as possible. But where we moved it to the next level was when we really started to dig into what was causing them, how much of it was, you have distinctions, don't you? How much of it is a general complaint about the brand, or something that was unrelated to the contact center. Again, really, really important. Collate those, pass them on to whoever is responsible. But where we really took interest was where the complaints were due to something that had happened within our contact center environment. So I would love to know what your experiences and thoughts are on the key topic of complaints. Maybe you want to complain about this question. In this case, I will ignore it. Danny is kicking us off. They can be incredibly valuable, but only if your culture is positioned to listen. Often it becomes unintentionally about blame. Well, it's what an interesting point, Danny. Do complaints and how you handle them demonstrate, or is it one indicator of the culture of your organization? Because if it does then become about, well, it wasn't us, it was them, and we're not really looking at why did it occur, how can we prevent it, then yeah, really, really good point to kick us off. Amandip says more can be done with root cause analysis to prevent the same issues occurring. Yes, I would recommend connecting with Ed Wells. Or they are the root cause analysis experts. They have loads of free resources. The company name is great, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Hang on. What caused this? Of course, I should know that. I did a podcast with them the other day. Sorry, Ed. But I recommend for anything to do with root cause analysis, check out what caused this. Marianne says, I perceive most people will say that they are all over them in their companies. However, uh, however, I think you will find that it is not the case, especially in some market sectors. Additionally, I agree with Danny. It is definitely how the culture is positioned to listen. Charlie says, kudos to the agents that handle complaints. That takes a lot of skill and understanding. Great shout, Charlie. I must admit, I used to love taking complaints. Darren Crook, good to see you. Agree with Danny. They are huge opportunities to learn. Collaboration and engagement, cross functionality, brilliant. Helps drive focus on fixing and improving rather than blame culture. Marianne says, have to go, got carried away. Now I am late. Bye bye, Marianne. Good reason, though. A good reason to be late. Lewis says, absolutely. Complaints teams are the fastest way for businesses to identify problems. Customers are literally telling you what's going wrong. It's then on the business to actually listen and take action, which I don't feel many businesses do. So improvement needed there for sure. Amandip says, just complained to John Lewis as an order did not arrive and received a stock answer as why it didn't arrive. It didn't give me much confidence that my orders won't go missing. Wow, there you go. There's an interaction there that is a chance to reassure, reestablish trust, and they just haven't done it with a blanket answer. Thanks for sharing, Amandip, because that right there is something that's probably happening thousands and thousands of times, right? And it's going to happen a lot more as we head towards Black Friday, pre-Christmas. We're all going to be ordering like lunatics online. You want to be reassured, don't you? And it's funny, isn't it, how you sometimes see people complaining on LinkedIn as well. I mean, how bad must that be when you have somebody that comes on and says, does anyone know anyone at company X? I have an issue. It's not being dealt with. Come on. We've got to do better. But some positives in here as well. Being that there are great opportunities to learn, as Danny says, and kudos to the agents who are taking them. But yes, incredibly valuable area for us. And certainly one that is key, I think, if you ever go into a contact center. It's one of those things that you want to look at. You might be taking over a new role. You might be there judging for a competition, not just being judgmental. Okay. Danny says, customers aren't telling you what went wrong. They're telling you the symptom. We must have the appetite and resource to root cause, or we'll be forever sticky plastering. I love that. I love that. Again, another reference to root cause. Here we go. Chris, thank you very much. Complaint fits into 3 categories for me. Fix it. Insight tells us where common complaints mean we need to change and improve. Face it. Some things are not about fixing deep-rooted problems, but we have dropped the ball. So face up and resolve that situation. Yeah, really true. Or F it. Some complaints are based on personal preference and create noise. but nothing we should be wasting time and effort on. Um, we sometimes waste time on the noise and not on the actual problem. They are a great way of learning. So true. I love it. Fix it, face it, F it. Lewis, Matt Damon, or who would play you in the movie of your life? I love him in The Martian. That's one of my favorite films. Love it. I think it's just the isolation. Oh dear. These are great. So Chris, thank you very much. Very comprehensive there. I think you've written more. It just doesn't show. Oh, here we go. They're a great way of learning, should drive cross-functional development and give us an improvement blueprint. Exactly. Exactly. I do have to say, I mentioned that I was talking to Fola from TFL yesterday. They're all over it. They are all over it. So I recommend, if you do want to see how it's done well, speak to Fola. Now then, I'm taking a little trip on Friday. I'm going to be out. Family are not happy because it means that they have to look after Hugo, which is going to be a challenge for them, not me. I am going to be at the Northeast Contact Center Awards, the Neckers. Are you going? Will you be there? So that is this Friday at the Fed. I'm I'm a little bit jealous of the Northeast. There's such a good vibe up there, a hotbed for contact centers, a real sense of community. So I am going to be kind of like a cuckoo in the nest, going, "Oh yeah, here I am." I'm. Thank you very much to Sarah Hunt and Julie Mordew. I'm really looking forward to going and soaking up the atmosphere of celebrating excellence in the Northeast. Danny Wareham, I'll be there. Brilliant. Oh, and Chris. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Maybe we can do, should we try and do some sort of viral dance when we're there? Us three to start with. Chris, you can choreograph, that's the word. Just on the complaints, Darren Crook says honesty and transparency with the customer. Yes, that went wrong. We're not happy about it either, and show we're committed to investigating and making changes to ensure it doesn't happen again. Builds trust and in some case helps de-escalate the complaint more quickly. Brilliant. I genuinely see complaints as an opportunity to create a customer that is going to stay with you for a long time, because that's, for me, is customer service. It's when things go wrong, how do you show up? And if someone has taken the time to complain, we should be throwing everything at them. Danny says hell to the no for my idea of us three dancing. Chris says I'll watch. Emma Valentine from Advantage Credit is a superstar, not only in Advantage Credit but in the team leader community as well, and she says yes to the viral dance. So Danny and Chris are maybes at the moment. By the time we've all had a few beers, they are definitely going to do it, and we will get it videoed. I can't believe Chris says I watched. I don't believe that for a second. Not long after the Neckers, I will be at the Expo and hope to see a lot of you there. 1:30 to 2 p.m. is where you need to be. Wednesday, day one in the Keynote Theatre, to see me make a fool of myself, probably. But I hope to see loads of you at the Expo. Now, dancing, theatre, films, comedy, you don't see many of them that are based in our contact center world. Every day I try and find news about contact centers. Amandip says video to be shared next week. Chris, Danny, you can't let everyone down now. Come on. But yes, we don't often see, do we, news or details about contact center based art. So a good few months ago now, I was very pleased to read about a show that took place again in the Northeast at the Newcastle Fringe. And it was called I Love My Job. and it was all about working in a contact center. So I spoke to, it was the Bylines newspaper. I contacted them and said, please, can you put me in touch with the person? It was a one-person show. Please, can you put me in touch with the person that did the show? They couldn't do that. They said what they'll do is put me in touch with the organisers of the Newcastle Fringe. So I went to them and spoke to them, and I'm very pleased to say that led to being able to speak to Sam Sanford, 3 or 4 times, and I managed to persuade her to come on to the podcast. Sam is the writer and performer of I Love My Job. There's a little picture of her on stage there. It is so interesting what she does. It's a totally interactive, funny show, and Sam comes on and talks about the putting together the show. And there's also an opportunity for you guys to get involved and help her create the next iteration of the show. And she is planning a tour. So I'm not going to give away what the show is about, but on Friday, the latest edition of the Get Out of Rap podcast features Sam Sanford, the writer and performer of I Love My Job, a one-person show all about contact centers. And hopefully she will be coming to a town near you. And you will also have the opportunity, if you listen to the podcast, to contribute to the show. So that should be great. Danny, I'll be there too at the this stalking malarkey is easy. Danny will be at the expo. Emma is also at the expo, as is Chris. And the forum are doing, last year for the first time ever, did their workshops, which went down really, really well. And Chris, you're doing that again, I believe. I don't know if you want to share the details where people can find you at the expo. Running away from me, probably, Chris. I like to follow Chris around and hug him, and he's okay with it to start with, but then it can get a bit too much. But that's when I sort of double down. Charlie, Expo Dance, I'm in. Charlie's got moves, everybody. That's what we're saying. Okay, now it is time for one of our favorite parts of the show. It's time for it's the read along. It is the read along, and the read along is where we look at Contact Babel's UK Contact Center Decision Makers Guide, where they've gone out and they've spoken to over 400 contact center leaders, asked them a range of questions that covers all parts of our world, and also included a survey of over 2,000 customers, consumers, to kind of get both ends of the spectrum. We are up to the use of social media. Very interesting. This is from 2021 to the end of 2024. I'm going to give you a moment to digest that. You can see that none of the above. So this is how much people, contact centers, are using Facebook or Twitter or X, previously known as Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and some form of default iPhone app, and none of the above. So you can see certainly for X, for using an app, and for Instagram, 2021 seemed to be a peak. Everyone was like, yes, I am all over this. Social media is where it's at for contacting and communicating with our customers. But that does seem to have dropped off for all of them, maybe with the exception of Facebook Messenger. There has definitely been an increase in the respondees saying we are not using social media. to communicate with our customers. What does your company do? Do you utilize social media as a form, as a channel, or are you using it for marketing? And you will respond to people, but your main aim is to get them off social media into a private channel. You don't want to be doing all of your backwards and forwards with them for all to see. Even if you're not using it and you are a commentator of our industry, what do you think about the use of social media messaging apps for customer contact? Are you still surprised that there is some usage? These look to be percentage shares, i.e., they all add up to 100% rather than overall volume. Have interactions increased or decreased in volume, even if the mix of media has changed? Very good question. Let me just check my other screen because I have it open here. We've seen since 2021 a decrease in the overall usage of social media. I will try and find some more information on that. Okay, Chris, looking forward to Expo. 2 workshops on each day, 12:50 and 2 in the training zone, plus a keynote on day 2 at 10 a.m. See you all there. Yes, you absolutely will. Highly recommend the workshops. Definitely something different and something to think about, getting your team members to attend so that they definitely learn something from the expo. Amy Edmondson's research into psychological safety has an example of encouraging the reporting of mistakes and complaints. But how many of our contact centers have penalties, financial or otherwise, linked to complaints being received? Great question, Danny. I'm sure you made that comment earlier, but it has only just come through. Okay. We can't have any kind of contact center show like this one without talking about AI. And the very next graph in the I'm not still sharing the wheel, am I? Okay. Is that better? Was I still sharing it? Someone should have come on. You guys are all part of the show. Okay. You can't have a contact center show without talking about AI. So here we have views on the role of artificial intelligence in the contact center. And against these statements, the respondents were asked to strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree. So the first one was AI will be used to replace agents. 1% strongly agreed. 19% agreed. Another 19% were neutral. The vast majority of respondents said they disagreed or they strongly disagreed that AI will be used to replace agents. I think we have evolved from that fear, haven't we? The initial fear, not fear, but just it's unsettling to think we would be losing our next leaders or losing people that are just great at talking to customers. Of course, often the headlines were being written and shared by people who have a vested interest in AI replacing agents. So we always had to bear that in mind. A more positive statement was next. AI will be used to support agents. 41% strongly agreed. 56% agreed, and there was a small percentage that were neutral, like there, whatever. AI will be unimportant to our contact center was the final statement. And as you probably won't be surprised to know that the majority of people disagreed with that. People are obviously open to finding out how AI can improve their contact center, hopefully both for their employees as well as their customers. There was 4% that agreed. It's not going to be important, and maybe their contact centers are just not set up that way. Now, let's have a look on customer views on AI. Views on how customers will perceive AI in the contact center. Um, Customers, I can't even read that. It's too blurry for me. Um, ChatGPT made such a noise when it was publicly available that people tend to think AI equals ChatGPT. They don't realize how many other AI applications there are. That is not starting to filter through, and more use cases are being made. Very, very true. I'm currently in the middle of doing some voice of the agent survey with Calabrio. And we have quite a few questions on AI that break down all of the different applications that AI has to offer. Um, okay, this is like a sight test. As you know, I'm wearing glasses at the moment because I have had a problem with my eyes, or one eye, from a football injury. Customers will always prefer human interactions. 17% strongly agree. 52% agree, 19% are neutral, and then there's a few there that disagree. Oh, okay. Older and younger generations will view AI differently. People want direct human contact for when things go wrong, says Amandip. Very, very true. AI will have to be hidden from customers. Customers will want their issues resolved as soon as possible. Well, yeah, of course. We all do, don't we? No, I'm quite happy to wait. Take as long as you want. Never mentioned it, says Chris. I am that comment is that for something else? You might have to elaborate. Never mentioned it. What, my eyes? My eye problem? No. I like to I'm just like, keep it quiet. I don't have my life plastered all over LinkedIn. Customers will always prefer human interactions, then proceeds to use self-serve till because you're in a rush. Well, yeah, you say that, but buying Monster Energy means I always have to interact with someone. Notice I said Monster Energy rather than beer, but it's always sugar-free. Monster Energy always stops me at the self-serve till. I must admit, I don't think they're with us, but Wilkinson's always used to make me laugh because they didn't have self-serve tills. They just let you use their normal tills with the zapper as well, which I thought was was really funny. It is a shame they've gone though, but I just thought they just thought, shall we get self-service tills, or should we just direct people through our normal tills and just have labels up that show them how to use it? So nothing groundbreaking there, I don't think. Certainly social media one I found interesting. AI in the contact center. I think Danny's point is spot on, that we're sometimes asking that question. Tenants at 10. Nice. Unfortunately, I'm not on holiday. Haven't been on holiday actually since becoming self-employed, but that's another story. So no daytime drinking for me, albeit we're getting close to my football team having a social, and that normally involves not attendance, but definitely start at 10. Albeit now we can just call it a bottomless brunch, and it doesn't sound so sort of tacky. All day drinking or a Leo Sayer isn't quite as classy as bottomless brunch, which I did suggest to our football team. I said, why don't we, because we were trying to think of different things to do for our social, so we don't just do the same thing we always do, which is a pub crawl, then stop at a pub that's got loads of pool tables, dartboard, and stuff, and do some silly awards. So we were just brainstorming different things to do. And I said, "What about a bottomless brunch?" I do love a bottomless brunch, but I that didn't get much take up, to be honest. There weren't enough fans of cocktails anyway within the team. So, but yeah, we will be doing that. Um, right. Well, now it's time for me to go and walk Hugo. I don't know if you've heard, he's been out there whining the whole time. Um, you might have noticed I've tried to speed up a little bit, but we're getting to the silly season. I don't know about you, but going into November always makes me feel both excited but also a little anxious about all of the different things that are going on. Um, if you're in any kind of where the customer spikes go up, both for you and your teams, um, take a deep breath. We're going to be okay. We'll get through it. We always do, and we'll have fun. And I do hope to see you this Friday. Any of you that are going at the Neckers. If not, I will definitely see you at the expo and on the next one of these of call. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for all your comments and keeping me on track. Otherwise, you would just get me wittering on. But it's highlight of my week. This is. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.